Hello everyone, my name is the Phawx. This is going to be my review on the iForway portable power station. This is a beefy chunker if you ever did see one. You might have heard of barely legal teens, but have you ever heard of barely legal batteries? This bad boy. And what I mean by that is that this is a 154 watt hour battery. Technically there is a TSA limit of 100 watt hour battery where you don't need any permission. You could put that anything that's under 100 watt hour in your suitcase underneath the plane of the belly of the plane, or as a carry-on. Anything over 100 watt hour, you actually need to get permission to get on a plane with this as carry-on only. You're not allowed to put this in your suitcase. Additionally, two different requirements. Number one, you can have up to one 300 watt hour battery, or you can have two 160 watt hour batteries. So this is right up to that limit of the second requirement of the TSA limit that you need to get permission for. So just the thing to be mindful of that, I mean, you could try just risking going on a plane with this, but if you're going to bring this baby aboard with you, you should probably look into making sure that the airline will let you on. So I tend to like bigger devices. I mean, a lot of people should know that because I really like the GPD Win Max. It's still my favorite form factor out of every GPD Win device that I had. Having a larger screen, a full keyboard. I would actually like the GPD Win Max just to be a little bit larger. Anyway, we're talking about this portable power station. Now, very quickly, there is an inverter that they include inside of the device. So you can see this is a standard US plug. This is going to be 120 volt out, and you can just plug into that. We'll test that. I have a kilowatt meter, and we'll see what we'll be able to pull out from that. Most of my things that I care about is going to be pulling directly from DC type of power supply, so anything from USB or USB-C. There's a little battery meter here. Now, the things that they say here is like you can extend a laptop battery by up to 22 hours. I'm going to peg that they anticipate most standard laptops to be 44 watt hour battery. And if you consider that, the GPD Win 3 is actually a standard laptop battery. The retail edition is actually getting bumped up to 46 watt hours. This pre-production model is 44 watt hours. So it's still going to be in the same thing. When they say that you can extend battery by 22 hours, they mean that you can charge it a bunch of times. So if it's just simple calculus, right? It's a 154 watt hour, you have 44 watt hour, or even just the GPD Win Max, right? You have a 57 watt hour battery here. This could charge the GPD Win Max 3 times. So you would have 4 full charges if you carry this around in the GPD Win Max. That's a bunch of power. Ideally, this would go into some type of fanny pack. I realized for my international people that fanny pack sounds funny. It sounds funny to US people as well, but for a different reason. Let's go ahead and see what else they say here. So for a tablet, you can extend by 50 hours. So I think that's more for like iPad or iPod-sized tablets. And then mobile, you have 200 hours. This is kind of reasonable, especially with, I would say, standard-based, modern-based device, cell phones. Nothing that's like 6,000 milliamp hour. And then TVs. You can power a TV for 2 hours. That's if the TV is 60 watt hour. This is going to be different. So if there's TVs that are edge-lit TVs are actually very efficient, and you might actually be under 60 watt hour, as opposed to even like full array backlit LCDs that have 1,000 dimming zones. Those take considerably more power, so don't think that this metric is going to apply to that. For edge-lit displays, I would say that this is probably going to be it. And then drone, it just says multiple drone battery charges. It doesn't even say anything else. It just says, yeah, it'll do it many times. So the capacity is 154 watt hour. It's 3.7 volts. This has got to be in series. This can't possibly just be 3.7 volts. That's an amazing amount of amperage to pull out of there. So the USB-C in and out, it is power delivery for 60 watts, so it's very much like a MacBook charger. So what a lot of these USB-C based chargers are able of doing, you can see that this particular version that we have is 2 times 5 volt, 2.4 amp, 12 volt, 10 amp. We're not doing the 24 volt 5 amp. And then the AC outlet option, they have 3 different options there. This is the US standard plug. The weight is 1.6 kilograms. That's around 4 pounds. And then what the inverter type is, and then the size right there. So I'm going to go ahead and charge this bad boy up, but let's go ahead and just do a quick unboxing of this. This battery was provided to me for review purposes. There will be a description link that the people that sent it to me want me to forward you guys over to. Other than that, I don't make any money on anything. I just bumped my camera. There's no affiliate link from me or anything. If there is a ref link that you see in there, it's not for me. It would be for the campaign people to track numbers from my review, and just that. So we have USB-A to USB-C, USB-C to USB-C. We have this PD charger. This is what they use to charge the device. This is a 30-watt PD charger that they include in there. 5-volt 3-amp, 9-volt 3-amp, 12-volt 2.5-amp, 15-volt 2-amp, 20-volt 1.5-amp at 30-watt. So that's pretty much going to be where you're at, right? So 15-volt and 20-volt will give you that 30-watt. Yeah, 12 volts not going. It's going to be a little bit under. No, it's actually 30 watt as well. So 12 volt will give you 30 watt. 9 volt's going to give you 27 watt. And 5 volt will only give you 15 watt. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and... Oh boy, it's heavy. It's actually heavier than the box. Why? How can that be? So this is the pouch that they give you. Back this up, son. It's the pouch that they gave me. Okay, and here is the bed. It feels heavier than it was in the box. How could that possibly be? This is just, oh my goodness, this thing's a chonker. Okay, so this is the guy itself. Let's go ahead and take a look at its output. USB-A output, 2 by 5 volt at 2.4 amp. So the USB-A outputs right here, yep, they're even clearly marked right there. These two are 5 volt only. And DC output 12 volt 10 amp. That's 120 watt. DC output at 120 watts. I guess that's a tremendous amount of power. Let's see where that's coming from. USB-C input and output PD 60 watt. So that's going to be the 12 volt, 15 volt, and the 20 volt. And then the AC output. Right there. Peak power, rated power, 160 watts. That's a tremendous amount of power. So at 160 watts, you're going to get less than an hour out of this guy when you plug in here. But again, that's a tremendous amount of power. Let's see if it seems like it's fully charged. I'm going to go ahead and actually charge it up a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in, well, I can only do one. Actually, I can do two. I can do this on the GPD Win 3, and I can do this on the GPD Win Max. And I'll see if I can pull from both of these at the same time and see what's going on. So let me go ahead and fast forward to that. All right, so now let's put this in a real life situation. Let's say that you are traveling somewhere, you're at an airport with the family, and you're carrying around the big boy, the big iForway. It's 4-way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I get it. Anyway. All right, so let's just say you got Millian, you got Jillian over here. They're both charging away their stuff. And then you got Mary Sue, who is coming along and says, you know what, Dad, I need to juice my phone. Can you please give me some power? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to plug this in. Now, before we do that, let's go ahead now. To use AC power, you got to turn this device on first. You're going to see it turn on. And then you're going to press AC. You're going to press it twice. You're going to see this turn green. So once that turns green, that means that the inverter is now active. But let's go ahead and start plugging in some other stuff because we're not ready to use that yet. So we're going to go to, what was it? Millian? Mary Sue? Mary Sue. So we're going to go to Mary Sue and she's like, give me some juice, Dad. You're going to plug it in. Now you're going to be charging that. So now that can go up to 15 watt. Now look at this device. Millian is now juicing a laptop for 40 watts right there, 42 watts. Let's say she has her MacBook and she's rendering and editing at the airport for who knows why. So we're going to see, she's going to say, Millian's going to say, Dad, I need some juice for my MacBook. And you're going to plug in this USB-C port because this will charge MacBooks as well as newer laptops that are USB-C compliant, PD compliant. And now we're going to go from negative 40 watts, which you saw right there. Now we're going to positive 12 watt. So in total, that means that we're powering this device for 40 watts and we're charging the internal battery at 17 watt right now, 13 watt right now. So this is 53 watts. This is taking 53 watts. We have 53 watts coming out here. We have up to 15 watts on this one. We can do another 15 watt down there. Now, let's say that Jillian over here has her laptop. Let's go ahead and plug this in. We want to test what this AC adapter is doing. We can verify some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and plug in this kilowatt. Oh man, look at the clearance on that. There's none. Ugh, this is not good. I don't really like how I'm doing this. Okay, let's make sure that, okay. Still charging. Good. I'll take that out soon, but very quickly, let's just try to get this done. Okay, now, let's say it's a laptop, an older laptop that just has a charger of some sort and has a barrel plug at the end and doesn't use USB at all. So right now, that's our voltage that's coming out of the inverter. Christmas, I have to get the... All right, so you can see right here, total system power is 26 watt. You can see that my CPU limit right here is 18.25 watt. Total system power is 26.3 watt. So that's how much power is being used in total. That's for the CPU, the SoC, RAM, SSD, Wi-Fi, the display, the whole bit. Now, you need to plug this in. We're going to pretend that this device is actually a laptop. So we're going to go to watts here. All right, so now we're pulling 43, 50, 66, 67 watts from here. And total system power is now positive 26 watts. So not only are we powering this device for 26 watt, we are now charging the battery at now 27 watts. So we're at what, 55 watts. So there is the AC to DC conversion here where we're losing power. So we're losing power twice in this instance. Remember, the battery is DC, so it's going through an inverter that's converting DC to AC, and then we're going AC to DC. So there is two losses of conversion here. So not only are we losing power inside, you can see that we're losing power on this. This is showing 67 watts, but I'm calculating on this laptop over here that we're only effectively getting 56, 55 watts of power, of actual power going to the device. So there is a loss of about, this is an 80-20 rule, so yeah, about 20% loss. This is all accurate. So really you should be limiting how much you're using that inverter. This inverter is for what I would say emergencies only. It is a humongous battery. It's 160 watt, 154 watt hour battery, but you can see that I am charging a bunch of devices. This is still going. You can see total system power is now 12 watt. So 40 watts to run the device, 12 watt coming in, 52 watts here, 55 watts over here, 15 watts here, and I still got another one. You too could have an iForway at the airport. Barely legal batteries, indeed. So this is my quick look at the iForway. I am going to cut this. I'm going to try to deplete this battery all the way and see how bad I can take it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to charge it with the included battery and see how long that takes, and then report back on that. Outside of that, that's going to be my quick look and quick impressions of this iForway battery pack. So far, I'm brutalizing it right now. We're taking more than 67 watts here, because remember, there's going to be an inverter here. So to get this 67 watt, this is 80% value. So we're still another 14. That's 80 watts. So 80 watts is coming from the iForway to here. So this is 80 watts, 55 watt, 110. We're pretty much juicing 200 watts out of this, and that's what even the manual says. Let me show you that real quick. Yep, right here. Total share 200 watt max. And indeed, we are using that. So I can validate that it is using that much power. Obviously, you wouldn't have this big kilowatt. You'd be plugging right into it or some type of extension. Let me take this out, because this is... Get that USB cord. Is just putting too much pressure on there. I would like not to do that, because I would like to actually continue using this big old battery pack. Anyway, I'm going to cut to telling you guys how much power, how long it takes to charge this device in full, and I will get back to you. All right, so this is over with. I've actually gone fully all the way down, all the way back up, and used it again. I've been kind of taxing this a bunch. I was able to deplete this pretty fast. So far, I don't really feel any warmth on the device at all. It's as far as I know, working as fine. Math-wise, it is working out to be 150 watt hour. Obviously, it's less when we take account for this. Again, 80-20 rule from the inverter, then 80-20 rule from DC to AC again, AC to DC again. So using an inverter is incredibly inefficient. I would really advise you not to use this if you can. Having said that, it does take about 7 hours, 8 hours to charge via this. So it gets to about 80% on this guy, this iForway. I don't really have any metrics to tie into it to graph it out for you. Kind of looking at it from what you're looking at, what you get included in the device. Having said that, you're going to look at a 7-hour full charge rate. That's it, guys. As far as me recommending this device, if you want big beefy batteries that have a lot of support, this will get you really, really far. What I would like to find is some type of satchel or something to basically like a really fanny pack to hold this. That would really make it ideal for me. I'm going to hold on to this and use this myself. I'm going to try to use this in my regular day-to-day. Anyway, as always, guys, thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.